Hey, this is me, I2I35, aka Josiah David, and today I'm going to be discussing the Shroud of Turin. Now, a lot of people might say, hey, wait, doesn't the Shroud of Turin prove that Jesus Christ lived on Earth? You know, if you actually look at it, look, he has a long hair, a beard, a mustache, and all the scars and stuff, and it looks like the imprint in his hands and everything. Well, I don't need the Shroud of Turin to prove that Jesus Christ lived on Earth. I can even live by faith. There's a lot of other evidences. I don't really need it. But seriously, this is not a video to offend other Christians if they like using the Shroud of Turin as proof that Jesus Christ lived on Earth. There's a lot of evidence for God and Jesus Christ. There's nothing ever been found to prove the Bible wrong, and there's nothing ever been found to prove evolution right. But this is actually false evidence. Let me just explain a few things. If you can see this picture right here, and especially right behind it is this picture of the head, you know, there's several really serious problems about the Shroud of Turin. Now, if we can take God's infallible word as our stance and evidence, and the fact that everything in it is historically correct and reliable, let's take a look. The Bible says that Jesus' face was bound about with a napkin. That was the custom in those days. You wrap their body up like a mummy, and then you take a separate cloth and wrap their head around it. In John chapter 20, it says, Peter went in and saw the linen clothes lie by themselves, and the napkin that had been about his head, not lying with the clothes, but in a place by itself. The Shroud of Turin has one cloth covering the head and the body. It's not the burial cloth of Jesus. Now, the prophet Isaiah prophesied they would pluck off the hair of Jesus. Well, the shroud shows a man with a beard. He didn't have a beard by the time he got buried. Now, the Bible says it's a shame for man to have long hair. Jesus did not have long hair. Jesus was not a Nazarite. You know, those were the folks like Samson who took a vow not to shave the hair or drink or touch dead animals. Jesus was from Nazareth. He was a Nazarene, not a Nazarite. Don't get the two confused. The custom of that day was to have short hair. Well, if the custom of that day was to have short hair, then why did Judas have to kiss Jesus to pick him out of the crowd if he had long hair? He could have just said, hey, he's a long hair guy, go get him. Jesus looked like any other Jew, okay? He did not look handsome or beautiful or looked apart from everybody else. He looked like any other Jew. He did have a beard and mustache. Even in that day, the custom for Jews was to have beards and mustaches. But Jesus did not have a beard and mustache by the time he got buried. Now, the Shroud of Turin is a really old cloth. Oh, I also want to point out that Jesus could blend into any crowd, okay? Like Isaiah prophesied, or some other prophets prophesied, that Jesus would not look beautiful, or that with any beauty that we desire to look after him, or follow after him, that kind of thing. But I'm sure Jesus was no wimp. He certainly did look muscular because he was a carpenter, and certainly one historian described him as being a tall man with chestnut-colored hair upturned at the back. So again, the Shroud of Turin is a really old cloth. It could even be a shroud that someone was buried in. It could even be a shroud someone who was crucified who was buried in. I wouldn't argue with any of that. But it's not Jesus, that's for sure. And the Shroud of Turin might even be a fake, as according to Ron Wyatt, the Christian Indiana Jones archaeologist. And even in my opinion, it does look kind of like a fake, because it looks quite cartoony, in my opinion. But what I really think is that God destroyed the actual burial cloths that Jesus was buried in. Because I think people would have been really moved to make an idol out of it. I mean, the House of Catholicism was already making a lot of money off of this. Oh, do you want to come in and see the Shroud of Turin of Jesus? Do you want to come in and touch it? It's only like $10, you know. So, the fact is, worship God, not God's fingerprints. So that's why I personally think that God destroyed the original burial cloths so people wouldn't find them. Okay? So worship God, not his fingerprints. So thank you for watching, and that's all I have to say for this video. TDFN, ta-da for now.